So now we're going to watch a really nice video presentation. When I was working with the Cable Center, we launched a Masters Forum, which this is really modeled after. And one of our keynotes was Steve Scully, who's executive editor and producer for C-SPAN. He's on Air Talent as well. He's a phenomenal, phenomenal person. And one of our student ambassadors who was helping, like our folks are here today, something he said on stage really resonated with her. And so she took it upon herself to meet him afterwards and have a conversation, which led to another conversation and an opportunity and a greater opportunity. And I just thought that meeting and her being brave and prepared and really wanting to take a chance with somebody who's incredibly busy, I wanted to share that story. They couldn't be here in person, so I asked them if they would please film like an interview for you today. So we're going to watch it. It's a little under 10 minutes. It's really cool. And Matt Rothman, if you wouldn't mind playing the special video presentation with Steve Scully.
Hello from the C-SPAN studios on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. I'm Steve Scully, political editor here at C-SPAN. And I want to welcome all of you in participating in this one-day immersion project. Clearly, there's nobody better to walk you through the day than Dolly Wolf. In a word, she is tremendous. And I'm honored to serve as an advisory member to this great project. And I want to introduce you to Caitlin Ooze, who was where you are today just a few years ago. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, we've gotten to know each other over the years, but walk us through that day. You were a volunteer. You were asked to go up to New York and participate in this project. Why?
I was taking a communications course at the time at my local community college, Northern Virginia Community College, and I was there just to explore the field. So I enrolled in the course to get to know more about the communications industry, and my professor invited me to go up to New York and volunteer for this conference. And I had no idea about the cable industry at the time. I was not pursuing a career in the industry, to be honest, but I took a chance, and I thought, I'll never miss an opportunity to learn and to grow, and so I went there. And that day, you were moderating a panel, and you were having a conversation with Peter Stern from Time Warner Cable, and you two had an exchange that resonated with me. And you mentioned that this industry was primarily about people, and that really resonated with me because previously I was a social work major at school, and so because that resonated with me, I waited in the back. You might have thought I happened to be standing there. It was a bit on purpose. But I waited in the back for you to exit the auditorium, and I just approached you and said, I just wanted to thank you for your commentary because it resonated with me. And from there, we struck up a conversation, and next thing I knew, I was here at C-SPAN, and I had an internship, which was so rewarding, thanks to you, and then that led into a job here as an associate producer for your program, and it was a wonderful journey that started right at the forum where all of you students are right now.
And really, being prepared for the unexpected.
Right. My greatest lesson from that experience was, take advantage of opportunities even if you didn't plan for them, because sometimes the most rewarding experiences come from those unplanned moments.
And Dolly Wolf, who is doing a tremendous job, by the way, really mentoring all of the students. Yes. And she's instilled in you and everyone else the importance of establishing those relationships, those contacts that will help you both short-term and long-term.
I think it's important, especially though when you're in a networking situation, that you're not establishing a connection only to further yourself. Because I think that's sometimes a misunderstanding when you think of networking, that you're making connections to further yourself, and that's the goal. I think the goal can just be to make a connection, and you don't know what you're going to get out of it. Maybe it's a great conversation, maybe it's a mentor, maybe it is an opportunity, but I think you need to establish the connection with the goal that the connection is the goal, not there's an end beyond that, because people matter, and sometimes that relationship is worthy in a way that you wouldn't have expected. So again, I say, make the connections and establish and foster those relationships, but focus on the person, not on the opportunity, and be open to the opportunities that come, but make it about the relationship first.
And what struck me is that you had the ability to not only work hard, but learn new things. You didn't know a lot about television. You immersed yourself into the project, identifying clips that we used and understanding the system and making editorial decisions. How did that all come about?
Right. So you were very gracious to say I knew not a lot. I knew nothing about television. And when I was first trained for the job as an associate producer, I remember when you offered me the position, and I said, I'll take it on one condition. I don't know if you remember this. I said that you realize I'm blatantly unqualified for this position. And, you know, your trust in me gave me confidence because I know you know what you're doing, even if I didn't. And so I was committed to upholding that trust that you placed in me. And so I did immerse myself, and I tried to learn as much as I could. I took notes on everything from how to open the program. Even the first day, I didn't even know something as simple as that. I had a notebook I kept with me at all times. I wrote down everything. I reached out to people around me, you know, for help. I was not afraid to ask questions or be vulnerable. I didn't pretend like I knew everything, which I think is important. I stayed humble in my role. And I remember the first week that we were working on the first show, I came on Sunday and I was here for 10 hours. And later, it took me 2 hours, you know, by the time I was finished to do what I did that first day. But you have to start where you are, and you have to just try your best and learn and realize that nothing is above you and that you can ask for help. And it was a great learning experience to realize that I knew nothing, and with, you know, effort and persistence and passion, you can accomplish anything you set your mind to.
Now, I want these students to understand that what Caitlin did here was really just one chapter and really has been a remarkable young career. How did somebody from Arlington, Virginia end up as Miss Virginia?
Well, so again, another adventure that was completely unexpected and so rewarding. I entered the Miss Virginia pageant when I was 20 years old for the first time. I hadn't done pageants previously. Again, I was a social work major originally at school, and I was looking for a platform for community service, and that's what Miss Virginia provided me. So I have a list, some of you may have noticed from listening to me speak, and growing up I was always told that I could never be taken seriously if I ever wanted to pursue any sort of public speaking. And so when I entered the Miss Virginia pageant, again, you know, my list was brought up as a downfall, and I was told she'll never win. Because if there are 30 girls standing up on that stage and 29 of them appear to be perfect, then why would they crown the one with an obvious flaw? So in 2010, my third year competing, I stood up on stage and I spoke, lisp and all, and I was awarded the opportunity to be Miss Virginia. And I spent an entire year doing precisely what it was I was told my whole life I couldn't do, which was public speak. I advocated for my personal platform, which was positive self-image and anti-bullying. I stood in front of the Virginia General Assembly. I walked the Miss America stage. I traveled 40,000 miles and spoke in 65 schools. And with every word that I spoke, I validated the reality that you don't have to be perfect to succeed. So I think the lesson for me moving forward there is that, you know, we all have a list. We all have something that sometimes might make us feel insecure, that may hold us back. And sometimes when we're in college, it's simply feeling young and feeling like a small fish in a big world. But, you know, your dreams are valid. And no matter what your list is, they're worthy of pursuit if you believe that you can do it.
And now you're at Harvard.
I am, yeah. So I actually, again, how one thing leads to another. When I was working here at C-SPAN, one of my coworkers introduced me to a program at Harvard for continuing education. So I applied to the program and got in, and now I'm finishing my degree that I started years ago. I put it on hold several times because there were many other opportunities that presented themselves. And again, I'm a firm believer in having a goal, but also being open to the possibilities in the middle. So I took a few detours and had some amazing experiences, and yet still stayed on the path towards finishing my degree.
And what's remarkable, because I'm such a huge fan of what you do, is that, to go back to your earlier point, you really have turned your passion into trying to help other people, whether you're speaking to students about bullying, telling your own story, and saying you too can achieve something if you believe in yourself.
Yes. Yes. I think it's easy to think, to take a risk, to take a leap of faith. It's easy to think, what if I fall? And my message to students is, but what if you fly? You know, you have to have faith that your wings will catch you and you'll take flight. And I think that it's also important to realize that each of our paths we're each uniquely suited to our own path. So it's easy for me to say, I've been in school for several years, I'm behind my peers. But I've learned I'm not behind because I'm walking a different path. So I want students and anyone I meet to realize and to find value in their dreams, and also find value in their own unique path, and find value in themselves, and remain humble, but also balance that with a confidence that no one can be you the way that you can be you.
So you now know a thing or two about television,
Yeah.
and so your camera is right over there. So talk to the students who are sitting in New York City saying to themselves, how can I achieve what Caitlin Ooze has achieved? What would you tell them?
First, I would tell them, don't try to achieve what I've achieved, because again, I think that what's beautiful about each of us being unique is that we have our own dreams. And so be inspired by my story. I hope you're inspired by my story, but don't compare yourself to my success, and reach for your own success. And I would say find something that genuinely makes you alive, makes you come alive. What do you feel passionate about? Identify what that is for you. It's not going to be the same thing that it is for me. And once you identify it, go after it with everything you have. Remain humble. Realize you're never above any job. Take every opportunity presented to you. Embrace it. And also understand that your perspective will define much of your experience. So if you're in an experience and you seek the opportunity to grow and you look for those opportunities to further yourself, you'll find them. But if you are always frustrated with where you are and always trying to seek something more without being grateful for where you are in the moment, you might miss an amazing experience. So believe in yourself, dream big, be humble, be confident, and pursue your dreams with everything you have.
Perfectly put. Two final questions. First of all, what's next for you?
So this fall I'm traveling. That's my next adventure. I also just got engaged, so I'm excited to start.
Which was my other question.
Yes,
so you can
I know.
Show the diamond.
I know, right? I know. I'm a little annoying. I'm right-handed, but recently I realized I do everything with my left hand. So I'm excited to start that new adventure. I'm excited to finish my degree, and after that, you know, who knows? I hope that I'll have a career that's rewarding and fulfilling, and that's my ultimate goal in life, is just to feel like I'm doing something that matters.
Caitlin Hughes, thank you very much. And to Dolly and the entire group in New York City, thanks for joining us. Thanks for sharing your story.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.